that although it didn't add to the cuts, did nothing to replace the dollars that have been lost to our students and to their schools over the past 8 years. And so this piece of legislation, called the Public School Funds Protection Act, would repeal the taxpayer-funded credits for private education. Make sure that you remember that it doesn't do anything to disturb or disrupt the federally funded tax deductions for charitable contributions. Education opportunity demands that we meet our constitutional obligation to fund our public schools. We have a law that allows up to $50 million a year to be diverted to private school scholarships. They don't use the word, but the word is voucher. Georgia has cut our school day, we've cut school nurses, we've furloughed teachers, we've done all sorts of things to say the standards must be higher, but the resources we're going to give you are less and less. We expect schools to do things with less money, and we're diverting $50 million. By repealing this tax credit for student scholarship organizations, our families will put more money back into the public school system. How does it work? Currently, Georgia law permits the designation of school scholarship organizations to accept contributions and offer a tax deduction to contributors, including up to 75% for corporations. Effectively, what this does is it allows private schools to receive up to $50 million in taxpayer funds for the purposes of funding private schools. If we were doing a good job funding our public schools, there might be a question. But have you ever known of a corporation that would divert resources from its core obligation until it has fully funded that obligation? Georgia should be run like a business. We must invest in our core obligation, the education of students, before we divert funds to private education. School scholarship organizations, $50 million, more money for public schools. One of the sort of interesting numbers is that the theory is we could preserve pre-K as we know it for $50 million. Here's a place we can find those $50 million. This bill merely takes that piece of the code away.